former first-round draft pick. Wait. I'm not done. You know where I'm going to go.
I know.
Okay, let me do this. A former Dallas Cowboy. Our friend, Marcus Spears, to the draft. First Take desk. I know how it is.
Just hold the hate for 2 minutes.
What's up, man? As long as you're respectful.
Yeah, I'm just glad I got a seat at the table.
All right.
Thank you guys for having me.
We here to talk about the draft, not your sorry Cowboys. Just remember that. All right?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Max, I'm going to direct this question to you.
Yeah.
Who made the playoffs this year?
Was it?
Who this guy?
Well, there's a couple. But you can hold it down.
We had a fight earlier this year.
Westbrook.
Yeah, exactly.
I can explain.
We had a fight earlier this year.
I can explain.
He wanted it off air because there was so much going on in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wait a minute now.
It was the Kardashians in Pittsburgh.
I do recall that the Steelers missing the players. It was the first time they missed it since 2013. Can y'all say the same?
Right. You're right. You got a point.
Let me show you how this is done. You need that, Marcus.
But it's what have you done for me lately?
Really?
Right.
Y'all ain't Janet Jackson?
You need to ask that question of me.
So 7, but that's another story.
Because neither of these guys can say yes. Giants, Steelers. The answer to your question is the Cowboys made the playoffs.
They did.
That's the answer to your question.
They did.
All right.
How many playoff wins the Cowboys have? Same as the Giants.
Hey, Will.
No.
That's true. Yeah, one.
Okay.
Hey, Will.
They won the wild
Will,
card.
Marcus. I reckon y'all right.
All right, Marcus, let's do this. I think it's fair to say that a year ago, the Cleveland Browns might have been under the most pressure when it went into the NFL draft, and they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, well.
But you're going into the 2019 draft now. Which team is under the most pressure to nail this draft tonight?
It's not even close. The Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders are under the most pressure. Look, you got rid of a generational player in Khalil Mack, and then Amari Cooper leaves and changes the Cowboys' offense. We talked about the Cowboys not having production at the wide receiver position. Amari Cooper was the answer to that question. You look at John Gruden. He amassed draft picks. They made the move for Antonio Brown. He has to get this right. What did the Oakland Raiders do last year worse than anybody in the league? Rush the passer. And you let the best pass rusher in the NFL go. So they have to get this right. If they don't, amassing those picks was a waste.
It's a good pick, Oakland, but it's only the second most pressure. Number one is the New York Football Giants, who traded away, they traded away Khalil Mack. The Giants traded away Odell Beckham Jr. in his prime. That day, the Browns became one of the Super Bowl favorites. That day. And the Giants took a $20 million cap hit, and all to get a 17th pick in the draft. Now, check this out. I don't think the Giants are real when they put it out to all the reporters that they want to pass on Haskins. You would have to be mentally incapacitated to want to pass on Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, Big Ten stud. 1 year as a starter, kept getting better as the season went on. Throw the ball down the field all the time and completed 70% of his passes. 50 TDs, only 8 interceptions, carries himself like a franchise quarterback. Do you understand, if you're really serious about Devin White, who I love, by the way, but take the great inside linebacker, Luke Kuechly. I don't care how good Luke Kuechly is. He's not going to bring you the value that a Ben Roethlisberger will be. I'm trying to take just a big, strong quarterback who's not real mobile. The argument against Haskins simply is he's not a dual threat. So am I to understand that you can only be a dual threat or you shouldn't be taken up high? Because that's the only reason. If the Giants must get this right. They need a quarterback. There's probably going to be one available. They can't blow it.
Calm down.
I know. I felt it over here.
Nah, listen, here's the deal. Max is not wrong, but I would side with you more than I would side with Max for the Oakland Raiders. Let me just give y'all two teams that I want to throw in that mix when we're talking about this. The Arizona Cardinals, okay? You got the #1 overall pick. You just picked Josh Rosen with the 10th overall pick last year, okay? You've had two, quarterbacks that you selected over the last 10, 11 years or so because you had Matt Leinart years ago. That didn't pan out as well. And so when you look at it from that perspective, having the #1 overall pick, hiring a head coach that didn't deserve the damn job, knowing that he was going to pick Kyler Murray, etc. You better get this right. That's #1. Because if you get it wrong, not only did you get the pick wrong, you clearly got the head coach wrong. And I think you got the head coach wrong, so you know it's a problem. Now, let's go this way. Let's get that out the way. The other team that I'm going to give you is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's why. Here's why. We all know Jameis Winston's a huge question mark. Yeah, last year, his rookie deal. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team hasn't made the playoffs in 11 straight years. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, 5th time with a top 5 overall pick since 2005. You can't find a quarterback. You've had 5 shots at the apple. Now, you got to understand what we're talking about here. Kyler Murray going number 1, supposedly. We talking about Dwayne Haskins potentially available at 6. We talking about this kid at Duke being available. We talk about Drew Lock at Missouri. You're talking about, all right, we gonna throw all of that aside because we got defensive issues where we might draft a kid that right out of LSU. You understand what I'm saying? Or Greedy Williams out of LSU, both of them, a safety, cornerback. My point is glaring as your need is on defense, and it's undeniable. The problem with it is that everybody talks about the importance of a quarterback. If you pass on a quarterback, essentially you are taking a chance on Jameis Winston.
You gotta have to pay.
And if you do that, whoa.
Listen.
The problem.
I understand what you guys are saying about the pressure. How much did Oakland pay John Gruden, the coach?
$100 million
a year.
The guy that's
$100 million with incentives that would throw it to 118 from what I'm told.
The guy that's their GM was doing this, what we're doing the last time the draft went on.
Did you know I applied? I applied for president of basketball operations. I think if Mike Mayock can do this and go from this to a GM position, how come I can't do it with the NBA?
So what they did was,
not that I would want the job.
They playing the game of poker and they pushed them all in, boss. When they got rid of Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, they pushed them all in. And what have we been circling the wagons on? Is Derek Carr the guy that John Gruden wants? So number one, you're not sure about your franchise quarterback. You got rid of 2 players that can change the game, and you in Oakland with a $100 million coach and a GM that was on TV last year.
Marcus,
that's pressure.
You're undoubtedly right that the Raiders went the most all in on this draft, selling Mack and Cooper. But I have to say, Max, I think you end up being right on this because Gruden's money, Gruden's contract, the years, 10 years, mean he's got some time to do this.
Well,
I don't know that Gettleman has the time. I think the pressure's on Gettleman to get it right now.
My only problem is, Max, I don't think that having Will Cain support your position is the strongest thing for your position. And personally speaking, that's what I'm saying.
The question is, why are the Giants
you end up wrong so often?
Why are the Giants putting it out there in the media, always like backdooring it, right? Like, oh, I'm hearing that the Giants don't like any of the quarterbacks. That's only because Gettleman thinks he's being slick and doesn't want anyone jumping him in the draft and taking Haskins because he wants to keep that 17th pick that he got in the Beckham trade.
Let me tell you why I disagree with you, because I want your response to this, Max. I don't know if we can blame Gettleman for this in this respect. Clearly, when it comes to Eli Manning, that's an ownership thing. It's undeniable when you listen to what they've said about Eli Manning. It is clear because they listen to Gettleman. You think Eli Manning's 27 years of age, still flinging footballs to win the Super Bowl championship if you listen to Gettleman. So clearly he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about in that regard. But we know he knows his football. So why would you take that position? Because the ownership has spoken up. Odell Beckham Jr. is gone. They talked about a culture change that took place. It is clear when you look at the New York Giants, you've got people working under ownership, doing the bidding of ownership, which means protecting Eli Manning. I think that
you know what I think it is?
Gettleman. I think that's
what I really think it is. I don't think that's it. I think the Giants know they're not going to be any good this year. It's the last year of Eli's deal. They're going to have to pay him anyway. They know they're drafting his successor who's going to learn under him for at least half the season. You got to at least put out in the media you believe in the guy.
You're bringing up Gettleman when I think you should be bringing up the Giants.
Well,
it's the Giants, not Gettleman. That's my issue. That's why I disagree.
I think one of the most fascinating things about this draft is in about 12 hours we're going to know, Max, whether or not Dave Gettleman's been playing the best poker of anybody in the NFL this year, or he truly is mentally incapacitated. It's one of the two, and we're going to know.
How about Oakland?
Marcus.
They better draft a quarterback.
They better. Marcus, who is the best player in this draft?
Devin White. Devin White. Look. I know. Before y'all start talking, my ties to LSU. Yes, I love Devin White personally as a brother. But I'm telling you right now, for a guy that's ready to walk into an NFL locker room and not only be a dominant player, but lead. a defense is Devin White. The number of plays, the impact he has on the game, and what you see now, the trends of the NFL leads to a player like Devin White. You got to be able to cover, you got to be able to run, and you got to be able to blitz as a linebacker.
He's the real deal. We saw him. It was lovely having him on the show. As for you, you're a Cowboy, but you're not wearing blue and white. You're an LSU dude. You ain't working. You ain't wearing the yellow and purple. I don't understand it, but that's a different subject for another day. When you talk about Devin White, as legit and big time as he is, do you grab the best player or do you grab for need based on what Gettleman knocked down? What's your theory about how you should approach the draft?
You grab for need. Right, so if you...
He says no, draft the best player, if I remember correctly, Max.
Yes. Said don't force it.
Always draft the best player.
That's what he said. You're saying draft for need.
While you're evaluating your roster that you have right now, right, if you have the luxury to grab the best player, you grab the best player. But you draft for need, right? And we having a conversation about the New York Giants. The Giants need a quarterback. Newsflash, for all you Giants fans, Eli Manning is in the twilight of his career, and he may be done. It's time to get a guy that you need at that position.
I hate
right?
Eli Manning passed away 3 years ago. People got to tell him.
Well, we have look, here's the thing.
That's not right.
You gotta have some pause because we talked about Peyton being done, and he came back and won the Super Bowl.
You know who the best player in the draft is, actually? It's Dwayne Haskins. He's actually the best player in the draft, and I'll tell you why. It's not that he's the most talented. It's that he's a quarterback. The only thing he doesn't do at an elite level is run. That's it. He does everything else as a first-year starter at an elite level, and he has size.
Let me come to him. I get you, and I'm not trying to disagree with it, but I will tell you, the way they've been talking about this kid, Josh Allen, out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
The way they've been talking about this brother, the kind of monster that he is, and then they talk about the importance. Because the question I've been asking everybody is that, you know what, the edge rushes, I understand how important it is, but if you got a system that gets rid of the ball relatively quickly, you can neutralize it. They're saying, no, Stephen A. That's incredibly, incredibly important. So if that's that important, to me, it's about Josh Allen. Who do you like more, Josh Allen or Nick Bosa?
I like Josh Allen more. And the reason why, because he's hybrid. I got some tapes coming up tomorrow. Josh Allen running with tight ends down the field, which you have to do now.
And 17
in the NFL.
17 sacks and 5 fumbles.
And look, I think Nick Bosa is a really good defensive lineman. I think he's going to have a lot of success in the league. He's going to be an impact player. Josh Allen has the potential to be in this conversation we have about Von Miller and all of these guys that are edge rushers that changes games.
Marcus, you played defensive line. You talked about Josh Allen over Nick Bosa, but what if I give you the whole line? We've seen the impact of Aaron Donald. We've seen the impact of defensive tackles. I'm going to give you now, you can factor in Ed Oliver. You can now factor in Quinnen Williams from Alabama. Who's the best defensive lineman of all of them?
Quinnen Williams had the better season. I think Ed Oliver game translates better to the NFL.
Is he Aaron Donald?
He has some traits. Look, we didn't know Aaron Donald was Aaron Donald until he started doing it. But Ed Oliver has those traits. Here's the problem.
He took his foot off the gas.
Right,
you can see it.
And Jadeveon Clowney did too, and it ended up getting him $100 million. But with that being said, when you look at Ed Oliver play, he has a lot of those things. He plays 2 yards in the backfield. He can run like a linebacker. He's a disruptor. Quinnen Williams is a disruptor as well. But I think Quinnen has to be in the right scheme. Ed Oliver, you could damn near put in anything, and he's going to be a football player. And that's important for me.
Look, I get it, Bosa, and Josh Allen looks like a beast, and Devin White, I think, is can't miss. I agree. Yeah. He's can't miss guy. And Quinnen Williams, and you could say Ed Oliver and other guys. None of those guys throw the football. and I get Kyler Murray, but what doesn't Dwayne Haskins do other than run on an elite level? He is an elite pocket passing franchise quarterback prospect.
You know what's fun?
And I don't know why he's not getting the love.
Tomorrow morning,
you are the love from me.
Well, you don't know, and we don't know if he's getting the love or not because we ain't gonna find out till the night.
Yeah.
He should be picked in the top 6. If Dwayne Haskins falls out of the top 6, we've got a problem.
Stephen A., tomorrow morning is going to be fun.
Yes, it is.
Max is either going to be so depressed we're going to have to wheel him out here, or he's going to be so excited.
Let me tell you something right now. If the New York Giants get to the 6th pick, if they hold on to 6,
yeah,
and Dwayne Haskins is on the board, and they pass on Max tomorrow, I'm gonna sit up here, I'm gonna kick my feet up and chill out and watch this brother be apoplectic tomorrow morning. It's gonna be hilarious.
Or Tampa takes it at 5.
That's right.
No, you got to tune in.
It would be worse if they passed on Haskins. If he's gone,
you don't want to miss First Take tomorrow morning. You're either going to see a man
out of the hole, Max,
shoot up like a rocket or depress down into that.
Tampa takes him at 5. Gettleman should have traded up.
Hey, Will, here's what we do know. LeBron James ain't going to miss First Take.
No.
He'll be watching.